So for tools that you need for the TerraGen system, you're gonna need a drill, you're gonna need a 13 mil bit, and you're gonna need a 3/16 hex head. So for a standing seam metal roof, you're gonna be using what they call an S5 metal standing seam roof clip. The nice thing about this roof clip is it has a round head on the end and it just clamps to the side of the metal. So you're never putting a hole in your roofing system. And here's how you're gonna install it. So you're gonna have the standing seam metal clamp, flush on the flashing. You're gonna put on your bit. This will be your 3/16 hex head. And you're just gonna tighten. Once we're nice and tight on there, you're gonna install your next one. So the next piece that you're gonna put on the TerraGen racking system is the L foot. You're gonna need your 13 mil drill bit. All you're doing is putting the bit on the L foot like this. Make sure you finger thread the screw in just a little bit first, the bolt. That way you don't strip it. And you're gonna put it to the side. Torque it, and that's it for that step. So the next piece you're gonna put on is the base rail. The nice thing about the TerraGen racking system is it comes with pre-drilled holes. So if you have an angled system, it's gonna make your life a lot easier on the labor side of things. There's a nice groove along the one side, which you're gonna attach your little brackets to. So the next piece you're going to install for the TerraGen racking system is your angle bracket. It's going to unfold and you're going to line up the pieces with the pre-drilled holes. And that'll give you the angle that you need. And then you're just going to run through the long threaded bolt with the nut. So the next component you're going to be putting on is for the horizontal cross beams. These are going to be the clamps that are going to attach. So I got a nice little clamp that'll snap onto the rail. So just take it, you have your mark on your rail, it's going to snap, slide it to that spot. You'll want to set that piece all the way along your entire beam. So then I'm going to put a horizontal cross beam on. We'll get that set in place. And the first one you're going to want to take, you're just going to want to take your clamp, slide it in the groove, make sure that fits nicely. You'll do that for all of them. Make sure it's clamping in the groove that's there. One thing to keep in mind before you do that is your triangle beam. You want to make sure that it's squared up with the roof before you tighten this beam down. One of the important things about choosing a solar contractor, and one of the advantages that Prairie Sun Solar has as a journeyman roofer on staff, and making sure the products that you use are compatible with the roof that you have. For instance, the TerraGen racking system, we're using a standing seam clamp. This particular roof faces north in slope, and the reason we go with the tilted racking is it's able to give you, instead of a north facing roof, it tilts the roof slope up so the solar panels face south. And that's going to allow us to get more exposure to the sun and produce more power with our solar panels. So the final part of the TerraGen racking system is installing solar panels. You're going to do that with two components. You're going to have an end clamp and you're going to have a mid clamp. The end clamp is going to go on the edge of your rows and it's just going to clamp to the edge of your panel. And then the mid clamp is going to do the same thing, but it's in the middle of two panels. So the first thing you're going to do when you get your system set up, you're going to square up your first panel. That's the most important part because it's going to carry the entire row through. So you're going to measure and make sure you're square on both ends. Once you have that done, then you're going to put on your first end clamp. So the one thing to be very cautious about when putting your clamps down, if you're using a drill, make sure you're not over tightening. So just loosely fit and then finish it with a torque wrench. So the next piece is going to be your mid clamp. This is going to have an option to be able to handle two panels, so you'll just press it down to clamp it on the rail, and then you're going to slide so the bonding piece is underneath the panel. That's the weave. You'll tuck that so it's nice and tight, and then before you actually tighten this down, you're going to want to slide your next panel in, and then you'll tighten it all the way down. You don't want to do it first, otherwise you're going to be loosening it to slide in the other panel.